Hello, it's Rachel Jones for the Finance News Network. Joining me from Novatti Group is CEO Peter Cook. Peter, welcome back to FNN.
Rachel, hello.
Now, Peter, for our viewers who are new to Novatti, could you give us a recap of what the company does?
Rachel, Novatti is primarily a financial transaction payments processing company. We've got a number of revenue streams coming from cross-border payments and remittances, from some billing services, from processing WeChat Pay and Alipay payments, from the issuing of Visa card programs and other payment services, so that overall we have a number of transaction streams for payment processing.
Now, you've recently announced that you've signed on 2 new investors for Novatti B Holding Company. What can you tell me about that?
So Novatti B Holding Company is currently a 100% owned subsidiary, and it is the subsidiary that has been applying to APRA for a bank licence. So initially for what's called a restricted bank licence, and then once we achieve that, we would then follow on with an application for a full bank licence. So we have announced a series of investments where external parties have invested direct into that subsidiary, and so that they'll become part owners of the bank. And equally importantly, Novatti is no longer responsible for the funding of that bank subsidiary. So, but based on the announced round of funding, Novatti's equity interest in the bank is currently about $20 million.
And what will the investment fund? And can you tell me about the authorised deposit-taking institution licence?
The investment will fund the Tier 1 capital, the regulatory capital which is required for the restricted licence of $4 million, and it will fund the first $6 million of working capital, which should see the launch of the bank and also all of the work undertaken to obtain the full licence, awaiting that final approval from APRA.
And what about the grant of the full ADI application?
So the full ADI, which based on looking at a couple of prior comparable companies, could be 9 to 12 months, but certainly within 2 years of the restricted ADI. Once we have the full ADI, we can take on an unlimited amount of deposit funds, can be a major lender. We can apply for a range of other asset-created licences to extend the services that the bank can offer. Primarily the services that we will initially offer will be related to cross-border payments and providing services for new migrants to Australia.
So let's talk a little more about banking solutions for migrants in Australia. What are you offering?
The core proposition, or the core customer acquisition proposition, is that we will seek to acquire customers for our bank before they even come to Australia. So it might be a young person who's thinking of becoming an international student at one of our universities. It might be a new migrant who's coming through a traditional work type visa program, but we hope to attract those prospective clients and sign them up for banking services before they come to Australia. Once they've come to Australia, they have a transaction banking account, they have prepaid and postpaid credit cards, leading on to a full life cycle of home loans and business loans as they mature as a customer in Australia.
And now let's look at financials and strategy. How are you progressing?
Looking at Novatti, the payments processing part of the business, we've been growing very strongly, half year on half year, year on year, and we're looking to continue that growth in the foreseeable future. A lot of our revenue streams have been incubated within the business, and some of those we've taken from small revenue streams to now increasingly significant revenue streams. And I hope our shareholders will see the benefits of that over the next couple of years. The company has required cash over the last 2 years to fund the bank licence. Now that the bank division is funded via this investment, Novatti itself won't need to fund the bank. certainly in the foreseeable future. And so we really now see that Novatti is a strong high growth payments business, and then the bank as a new digital banking entry will have its own strong growth strategy.
And to the last question now, Peter, what can investors look forward to from Novatti over the coming year?
I think the first thing investors will see is the value that we have built in the bank subsidiary start to get shown by the willingness of external parties to invest in that subsidiary. And at the moment, as per our stock exchange announcement, Novatti has essentially $20 million of value in that subsidiary, and then that value should get further proven up as we get the restricted license and full license and launch the bank. At the same time, the come raise pressure on Novatti should cease as it no longer has to fund the banking subsidiary. From Novatti's own operations, we grew strongly from financial year 2018 of 6.3 million to about $8.9 million of revenue in financial year 19. We are aiming for strong growth this year, and we would hope that strong growth in revenues also brings a much stronger performance at the EBITDA line. So investors, I guess, would be looking at us for strong revenue growth and consistent growth. Some of the incubated businesses, such as the China payments, visa program management, and the remittances growing, and then the continued rollout and achievements of the banking division.
Peter Cook, thanks for the update.
Thank you, Rachel.